Welcome to Beers, Balls, and where the beers are cold, the socks are loud, and the takes come with just enough hope to keep showing up.
Congratulations, Dodgers, on the 2025 World Series Championship. You guys did exactly what everybody thought you were going to do. Back at the start of the season, MLB experts, fans, Las Vegas, everybody had the odds in favor of the Dodgers winning the World Series. And here we are. Hell, even my girlfriend, who started watching baseball this season, told me back in April that the Dodgers were going to repeat. I should probably take betting advice from her. Anyway, I really enjoyed this World Series. It had everything you could ask for. It had dramatic lead changes, spectacular defensive plays, a lot of extra innings. It even had a Game 7 with some more extra innings. Just incredible, without any emotional trauma, since unfortunately the Sox weren't a part of it. But hey, at least we're not like Toronto, right? Because if that would have happened to the Red Sox, I would probably never leave my room again. Good thing that's not the case.
Some moments make history. Others make you cover your eyes. This is Clutch or Cringe.
This week, for Clutch or Cringe, we've got a special segment where we're gonna run down the top 5 clutch plays and the top 5 cringe moments of the World Series. It's Game 6 and the bottom of the 9th of a must-win game for the Dodgers. Sasaki gives up a rocket to left center field where surely every Dodgers fan's heart skipped a beat. And Justin Dean's sprinting behind it, and then he stops. No dive, no throw, nothing. He's just standing there like a kid with his hands up saying, "It's not my problem." And somehow, he turns an inside the park home run into a ground rule double. The crowd is confused, the Jays are upset, and Dean, well, he's just standing there with his hands up. He literally saved the Dodgers season by refusing to play baseball. And fast forward a little bit later, Kike Hernandez seals the win with an epic double play off a line drive and then throws it to second to end the game. Justin Dean, you might not have touched the ball, but you touched history. What were you doing at 22? Were you figuring out life, playing video games, drinking cheap beer with your buddies on the weekend? Well, Trey Yesavage was playing baseball for money in the World Series. Pretty crazy, right? Well, we already talked about what he did in Game 1. Where over 4 innings he allowed 2 runs, but his impact was the damage control and how he never let the game get out of hand so that the Jays could eventually come back and win that game. Done. But then, Game 5. We thought maybe the Dodgers already figured him out. Maybe they've seen it all before. Well, guess not, because he came out firing on all cylinders. 7 innings with no walks, 12 strikeouts, and allowing just 1 run. Absolute dominance. He faced one of the deepest lineups in baseball and didn't even flinch. 7 innings, 0 fear. He's probably the guy that in high school didn't even panic when there was an exam that day. Game 7. Top of the 9th with 1 out. The crowd in Toronto is losing their minds completely, getting ready to celebrate their first World Series win in 32 years. Well, Miguel Rojas had other plans, and he stepped into the box to face Jeff Hoffman. Rojas had only hit 1 home run off right-handed pitching during the regular season, but he decided it was time for a second one. With 1 swing of the bat, he ties the game. It was the stuff of legends. It wasn't clutch, it was magic. It's the kind of swing that turns a role player into a trivia answer for the next 30 years. And as if that was not enough, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out. Incredible. A hard ground ball hit right to Rojas, who snags it and fires it home to get the out and keep the Dodgers alive. He was doing it with the bat, he was doing it with the glove, he was doing it with the arm. That ninth inning was Miguel Rojas. Do you guys remember when Ryan Dempster said, "Solo home runs don't beat you"? Well, there's a good chance you don't, because he might not have pitched for your team, and even if he did, remembering quotes from 10-15 years ago might not be on your top interests. But try telling that quote to the Blue Jays, because the Dodgers, every time that it mattered late in games, hit solo home runs. What am I talking about? Well, let's recap. In Game 2, during the pitcher's duel between Yamamoto and Gausman, when Gausman had retired 17 straight, we all know about the commentator curse, Will Smith hits a solo home run to break the tie. He's immediately followed up by Max Muncy hitting a solo home run as well. Those two runs would end up being the difference in Game 2. Let's fast forward to Game 3. Late in the game, down 5-4, Shohei Ohtani hits a game-tying home run to tie the game at 5. And then, way later, like 12 hours later, in inning 18, Freddie Freeman hits a solo home run to walk off for the Dodgers. Then, let's fast forward to Game 7. In Game 7, late in the game, there was the solo home run from Max Muncy to bring the Dodgers within 1 run, off Savage, by the way. Then, Miguel Rojas, game-tying home run off Hoffman in the 9th. And later, in inning 11, Will Smith again hits a home run to break the tie and eventually lead the Dodgers to the championship. 7 solo shots, 3 wins, 0 mercy. So yeah, solo homers can beat you if they're timed with surgical precision. Sorry, hold on, I got carried away. Yamamoto is all over social media. He's on top of all of our minds on all sorts of baseball articles, and for good reason. He was the World Series MVP, and that's also why he is on top of this list. His performance was unreal. 3 games, 3 wins. Game 2, he had the complete game. 8 Ks, no walks, went the distance. Game 6, 6 solid innings of 1-run ball, which eventually turned into another one of his wins. And then on 0 days rest, he came in Game 7, put out some fires in the 9th and the 10th innings, and got the double play to seal the World Series for the Dodgers. Absolutely unreal. This guy is the closest thing we have to a baseball Super Saiyan. Calm heartbeat, electric stuff. And honestly, if you see this guy glowing in the middle of a game, you better just put your bats down, forfeit the win. There's nothing you're gonna do. He is out of this world. All right, those performances were ice cold under pressure. So it only makes sense that we cool down with something just as clutch, our beer of the week. This week's beer is from north of the border. Canada, your baseball team was not good enough to win the World Series, but here's to hoping that your beer is good enough to be mentioned on this show. So let's take a look. It's a session New England IPA, session implying that it's meant to be consumed over longer periods of time without intoxicating yourself because it has a lower alcohol volume, which makes it just right for baseball. Watching, not playing, I think. Well, definitely not for 18 innings. Let's see how it goes. It lives up to its name, the label, because it's got the citrusy taste. It has a little bit of a sweet, fruity flavor as well, but it's not overpowering. It's the kind of beer that you'd expect to sponsor the Grapefruit League and spring training, but I don't make that call. If I had to classify this in baseball terms, I'd say it's a double that just gets in ahead of the tag. And well, Toronto, I'm sorry that your team didn't win the Baseball World Series, but at least it can compete for the Beer World Series. Cheers, eh? Game 3 gave us multiple cringe moments on this list, but we're gonna get started with how Toronto was so scared of Ohtani that they walked him the entire second half of the game. They walked him in total of 5 times. 5. I don't know if Ohtani looked like a ghost that they were seeing and they thought it was Halloween coming early, or what was going on. They gave him the entire Barry Bonds treatment. They weren't even pitching to him. They were filing for witness protection. Congrats, Blue Jays. You didn't let Ohtani beat you. You just beat yourself slower. Still on Game 3, in the 10th inning. Just see for yourself. Lucas rips a double to right field. Schneider starts to round third, and the throw's already halfway home at that point. And Fabulous decides to wave him in like he's late for his flight. And what happens? Out by a mile. That single decision turned a regular baseball game into an 18-inning endurance test. Sure, it was a thrilling win in the end, but every fan aged like 3 years that night. I wonder if the fans that were in the stadium got a Dodgers note to get out of work the next day. Andres Jimenez might not be up for any MLB awards, but he should be up for an Oscar after his performance in Game 7 when he got hit by a pitch. His overreaction led to benches clearing and tempers flaring. It looked like he was on an audition for MLB the Musical. Sure, a couple of pitches earlier were close, but come on. It's Game 7 of the World Series. You're the number 9 hitter. Nobody's trying to hit you. My guy, they're trying to get to the top of the lineup. Not on your highlight reel. Back to Game 3, top of the second inning, Varsho's batting, Bichette's on first, the count's 3-1. The pitch comes in, clearly misses, ball 4, right? Nope. 2 full seconds later, the umpire calls strike. At this point, Bichette's already advancing to second, doesn't know what's going on. Everybody's frozen, everybody's confused. Glasnow throws the ball over to Freeman. They get a free out. This was the worst strike call since T-ball. And then they wonder why they want the ABS system to replace umpires. I mean, if you're gonna mess up a call, at least do it on time. And now, for the most cringe moment of the World Series, we've got Game 2, Inning 2, a routine pop-up to nobody else than Freddie Freeman, future Hall of Famer, the face of consistency. This ball had nothing more and nothing less than a .000 expected batting average. That's right, 0. 0 chance of this turning into a hit. Those are the same probabilities of you missing the floor if you ever fall out of bed. Well, Freddie just showed us that he's human, and even legends can make mistakes. The thing is that when we make a mistake at work, at least it's not on national television for the world to see. But don't worry, Freddie, we forgive you. You've got enough heroic moments to make us forget this one.
If you laughed at any of my bad jokes, even just one, or maybe just at me, hit like and subscribe. Because honestly, the jokes aren't getting any better, but the baseball takes might. Appreciate you for sticking around for all 9 innings. Keep the Sox loud, the hope alive, and we'll catch you next week. Same time, same bull.